Mayor and vice mayor are absent. We will need to, our first order of business be to elect a president of the council pursuant to City Charter Section 4.2. So at this time, I'd like to open the floor for nominations.
Larry Church.
Second.
A motion's been made and seconded. Are there any other candidates? Okay. Motion's been made and seconded.
All in favor?
Call for a vote.
You probably don't even want to need a vote on this one. We don't need a vote on this one.
Don't?
No.
Okay.
All in favor?
All in favor, say
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No? Okay,
Not
ayes
one
have
nay.
it. It's been a while since I've conducted any kind of meeting, except at my dinner table. And so the first thing that we need to do is salute the flag. Would you lead us in the flag salute,
You
sir?
bet, sir.
Stand and face the flag, please.
Represent our country, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yes, sir.
Will you lead us in prayer?
Yes, please bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this evening tonight. We thank you for our city of Seminole and the leaders and the citizens also. We have to make decisions tonight, Lord, and we ask that you please give us the right decisions for the betterment of our community. Leave ourselves beside in not our decisions, but what's best for the city. Thank you for all the blessings in our community. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
So next, we'll go to the regular meeting of the Seminole Airport Authority. And call it meeting to order. Is there,
You call a roll call.
Roll call.
oh yeah, we have to do the roll call, sorry. Roll call, please, Jay.
Chris Anson, Trace Connor. Here. Tim Poplin,
Here.
Eddie Foreman, John Kramer,
Here.
Larry Church,
Here?
Corey Crabtree, Dana Miller,
Here.
Jeff Griffin. We have a quorum.
Okay, consideration and action of consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Appearances and petitions from the audience. With no appearances or petitions from the audience, we'll move on to approvals and acceptances. The first item is bids, consideration and possible action to approve the low bid of $48,850 from Contech Inc. for concrete for the airport ribbon or apron pavement project with 100% funding from the Federal Aviation Administration and Oklahoma Aeronautics Commission. Is that like free money?
It is free money. I'd like for you to say that again faster. That was a complete tongue twister, wasn't it?
Well, anything's twisting my
Contact.
tongue tonight.
Contact, concrete.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sir. It's 100% grant through the FAA, and we're building our new apron on the north side. So we're encouraging you to pass this.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. We'll do a roll call vote on that, please.
Yes, sir. Trace Connor,
Yes.
Tim Poplin,
Yes, sir.
John Kramer,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Dana Miller.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the airport authority.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please. No, I don't need a roll call for that, do I?
All in
Okay.
favor?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Now we'll move on to the Seminole Utilities Authority. Roll call, please, Jay.
You want to go to the gas authority
Gas
first?
authority.
Oh, well, about out of order. I don't have a
Here you go, let me give you mine.
thing for the gas authority. Sorry.
Thank you for doing this.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank y'all for the help. Okay, for the Seminole Gas Authority, call to order. Roll call, please, Jay.
Tim Poplin,
He's here.
Corey Crabtree, Dana Miller, Larry Church,
Here?
Trace Connor.
Here.
John Kramer.
Here.
Chris Anson, Eddie Foreman, Jeff Griffin. We have a quorum.
Okay. Comments from the, let's see, consideration, no, I want to
Yeah,
go
you're right.
comments from the audience.
Consideration and action of consent agenda. Just go down the,
Okay.
just go down the agenda.
Consideration action of consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. It says items removed from the consent agenda. We don't have any of those.
There's not any items. Let
Okay.
the record reflect so.
All right. Appearances or petitions from the audience
For the gas authority.
for the gas authority. Yeah. Since there are no comments from the audience, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. With that, we'll move on to the Utilities Authority. Roll call, please, Jay.
John Kramer,
Here.
Trace Connor.
Here.
Chris Anson, Dana Miller,
Here.
Corey Crabtree, Tim Poplin,
Here.
Eddie Foreman, Larry Church,
Here?
Jeff Griffin. We have a quorum.
Okay. Consideration and action of consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? No? Okay. Ayes have it. No items removed from the consent agenda. Appearances or petitions from the audience
For the utilities authority, yeah.
or the Utilities Authority. Since there are no appearances from the audience, we'll move on to resolutions. Number one, consideration and possible action to approve resolution number SUA 2021-04, a resolution amending the fiscal year 2020-2021 budget and authorizing the transfer of excess funds between departments. Can someone explain what that means, excess funds, and how that works?
Yes, we just completed our June 30th audit, our annual audit. And as part of that, no single department can go over 100% of the budget. We had some departments that were, but we had other departments that were below that. So we can transfer between departments to make sure that everybody is within their allotted amount. And that's what that is. We're still, those departments that went over, there were a few of them. Does that
Oh.
make sense?
If I understand this correctly, then we're supplementing those that have gone over their budget
Right,
with funds that weren't used by other departments.
exactly,
And that's all constrained within the overall budget limit.
correct.
Any discussion on that?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. With no further action for the Utilities Authority, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Mr.
Yes, sir.
President of the Council, I'm going to have to ask you to go back to that resolution
Okay.
and take a roll call vote, because we're
Okay.
moving money, and before you adjourn, we need to do that by roll call. I'm sorry, I missed that.
No problem, sir. Sorry, I didn't know. So we're going back to resolutions, the consideration and possible action to approve resolution number SUA 2021-4, resolution amending the fiscal year 2020 to -2021 budget and authorizing the transfer of excess funds between departments.
Right.
Move to
Roll
approve.
call, please, Joe.
John Kramer,
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Dana Miller,
Yes.
Tim Poplin,
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. With that, then, I'll entertain a motion for
So
adjournment.
moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. We move to the Seminole Municipal Authority. Roll call, please, Jay.
Corey Crabtree, Eddie Foreman, Tim Poplin,
Here.
Dana Miller,
Here.
Larry Church,
Here.
Chris Anson, John Kramer,
Here.
Trace Connor.
Here.
Jeff Griffin. We have a quorum.
Consideration and action of consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. So appearances or petitions from the audience concerning the Seminole Municipal Authority. Since there are no petitions from the audience, let's move to current business. Number one, consideration and possible action to approve Pay App 4 from Lead Tech Solutions in the amount of $132,783.95 related to the CDBG Sewer Rehabilitation Project. Any discussion about that? Explanation?
So you may recall that we had a community development block grant, also known as CDBG. And we have been doing all we can to come into compliance with our sewer issues over and around Harbor Court and, Harbor Street, right?
Yes.
Correct.
So DEQ had sanctioned us before on that. We wrote a grant to the Department of Commerce, and they have issued a CDBG grant for us to eliminate a lot of our inflow and infiltration of rainwater into our sewer system. And we are well underway, pretty close to being finished, I hope. And this is the fourth in the pay app, so we're encouraging you to pass this.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded.
Roll call.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Tim Poplin,
Yes.
Dana Miller,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
John Kramer,
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Motion passes.
We move on to number two, consideration and possible action to approve change order number 2 from Wall Engineering and Lee Tech Solutions in the amount of $47,903.75 for pipe bursting and installation related to the CDBG sewer rehabilitation project. And this is the same, related to the same stuff?
Same thing, we figured out in the project that we were going to be coming in a little bit below, spending all the grant money. So we've made a change order to do some key pieces of it and do the pipe bursting, the contractor, and we also agreed with the engineer that this needed to be done. So we are asking for a change order in order to include that new money, or the new piece of pipe in the project, which will exhaust the grant money.
Yes, sir.
I have a question. When you talk about the pipe bursting, do they actually hydro test them and put so much pressure on them to see if they're still good, like they do on gas lines and stuff, or is it just?
Not in a classical sense. So typically what happens in a pipe burst, especially related to sewer, one thing we do sometimes is a smoke test. So we'll go out and plug the ends of a suspected line, and we will put smoke in there, and we can see smoke coming up through either vents or the ground, and we know that it's compromised. Another way, we actually, we call it TVing the line. In other words, we put a camera in the line, and we go down that line with the camera, and we can see the roots that have compromised the line. So at that point, we back it out, clean it up quite a bit, and then they put a sleeve, which is polyurethane, more than likely, and we put that through and superheat it so that it expands to fill that line, and they call that pipe bursting.
Do they do the whole length of the line that's suspected, or just where the problem is?
Yeah, just the whole length.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you for answering that. I'm done, sir.
Okay. Any other discussion on number 2?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Jay, roll call, please.
Tim Poplin,
Yes.
Dana Miller,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And with that, we'll move on to number 3. Consideration and possible action to approve invoice number 2021-80 from Wall Engineering in the amount of $22,742.60 for engineering services related to the CDBG sewer rehabilitation project. Looks like it's all about the same thing.
Yes, sir.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please, Jay.
Tim Poplin,
Yes.
Dana Miller,
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And item number 4, consideration and possible action to approve invoice number 1 from Wall Engineering in the amount of $203,050 for engineering services related to the construction of the proposed new wastewater treatment facility. Will this be all of the engineering services that we'll need for that project?
No, sir, not even close.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, we're going to end up paying well over $1 million in engineering fees for the new sewer plant. So this is the very early stages.
It's something that we don't have a choice in. We either build a new sewer or everybody gets an outhouse in their backyard. So I move to approve this.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please, Jay.
Tim Poplin,
Yes.
Dana Miller,
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And then under the addendum, the current business, number 5, is consideration and possible action to approve the water service agreement with Tri-County Rural Water District Number 2 to provide water to the new Seminole State College ball fields. These are the ball fields out by the new school, right?
Yes, sir. And what's in your packet is not the actual agreement, so I would appreciate if your motion would say authorize staff to draft or redraft the agreement to include. The current agreement in your packet actually is for the Seminole Public Schools, and we need to adjust that for Seminole State College.
Okay,
So if we adjust that, we won't have to bring it back. Is that
If you
correct?
authorize staff to make those adjustments, you won't have to have it come back.
Okay. So any discussion? Any other? I'll entertain a motion to that effect.
So moved.
So the motion's to approve the water service agreement that's similar to the one in the packet as to Seminole State College, correct?
That's what I- that's what I
To
moved
provide
to
water to
approve.
Seminole State College.
Yes, sir.
Does everyone understand what's
Like
happening
staff.
with Tri-County? Do you need an explanation
Kind of
on that?
encroaching in there.
Well, I do, but they might not.
District.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so rural water districts have broad authority on where their territory is. And in our case, Tri-County Rural Water District comes way into the city limits. So anytime that we run water line out into their district, we have to get their permission. And what we have done is we have struck an agreement that we sell them our water, and it's frankly, it's our water line and our water. And so we sell them that, and then they send out their bills to, for example, Seminole Public Schools gets a bill from Tri-County for the new high school. And then this will also be the case going into the new baseball facility.
We had to do the same thing for the high school.
Yes,
right?
we did, yes.
Correct.
Okay, so a motion has been made. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please, Jay.
Tim Poplin,
Yes.
Dana Miller,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And I think that concludes the business for the Seminole Municipal Authority. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. And we move on to the regular meeting of the Seminole City Council. Roll call, please, Jay.
Tim Poplin,
Here.
Corey Crabtree, Larry Church,
Here.
Trace Connor.
Here.
Chris Anson, Eddie Foreman, Dana Miller,
Here.
John Kramer.
Here.
Jeff Griffin. We have a quorum.
Consideration and action of consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, we'll move on to appearances or petitions from the audience. I see some activity in the audience. Please tell us your name and
My name is Jackie Dale, and I'm with the Seminole Arts Council. Thank you, Larry, for passing around our letter to everybody. I'm here with a list of things I'm gonna try to spit out super fast. So we started doing 3 months ago the Seminole Second Saturday events. This has been kind of serving as an experiment for us. We're gonna continue to do this until the end of the year and then we're gonna kind of regroup for 3 months and figure out how we can kind of revise things to flow a little better, work a little better. September was the third time we've done it. October will be the fourth one. And I think next month we're really gonna focus on our community cheerleaders, the Seminole Best Buds. We had a lot of fun. We had a food truck and it happened during Dragon Main, which it ended up being really big for us because we ended up getting to go out and pass out a lot of flyers and stuff to people. We have a lot of things coming up that we need committee members for. If anyone is interested in helping us with that, we have parades we're planning, a yard decorating contest, a Halloween festival that includes pumpkin decorating contests, costume contests, trunk decorating contests, all the contests. Church, we have a t-shirt design contest happening and there's a $250 cash prize for that. Our group is gonna be going to the Oklahoma Arts Council Conference in Muskogee at the end of the month, and we're gonna learn a lot of things on how we can help Seminole with our group and how we can get more art in Seminole. Also wanna let you guys know that I have about a dozen artists from all over the state who wanna come paint walls here in Seminole. Some of them are bigger names than others. I don't know if any of y'all have ever been to Ada and seen the Baby Yoda painted on their newspaper building, but that guy reached out to us. I didn't reach out to him, he found us, and I'm super excited. So if you know anybody who has walls, look, have them come to me. We need property to put it on, we have agreements and things that we can use. We also need funding for it, so, because those guys do need to get paid.
How much are we talking about?
It varies, depends on the artist. Our MMIW mural was actually only $900, and the Seminole Nation paid for about 40% of it. And then we have another artist who wants to come in and do like a mosaic tile type thing, and his price tag was more about $2,500. So it really just depends on the artist and the design. But all of that will run through us first.
A question, excuse me. Give us your contact number if somebody wants to contact you to help.
Seminole Arts Council at gmail.com.
No phone, just a.
405-303-1191.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And we also have a website, SeminoleArtsCouncil.org. You go there and we've listed all of our upcoming projects, everything we need for those projects. And I mean, it goes farther than just monetary donations. Like, we're cheap. So if you guys want to throw us some stuff you've already got in the garage, we'll take it. Let's see. Oh, the community cupboard. If any of you guys haven't seen that yet, just down the road here, the Best Buds have put up a community cupboard right next to the Lord's Community Church. We went out there and then 2 days later went back and it was plumb full of stuff. And I've went out there 2 or 3 more times and have noticed that things have rotated out already pretty regularly. So we might see a couple more of those popping up around town, and if anybody wants to help us with that, we would like that. And I think that's everything on my list. I just want to, let you guys know that we are working so hard to do all this stuff. We're working with the chamber now. We're working with the downtown district. And the last thing that we need is people dumping their projects off on us. And I say that with so much respect because I get it. You guys have been fighting for Seminole for so long, and you're burned out, and it's tired. And I'm not talking to you guys specifically, but people watching at home and stuff too. We need you to help us. Like the people who used to be involved with Main Street, we don't need you guys to go away. We need you guys to just stick around, maybe take a back seat, help stance on it. But we still need people to help us. We still need people to come to our meetings, which are on the first Fridays of the month. And if you, like I said, anybody email us if you guys have any questions. And I got more forms if anybody wants a membership form. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello. Good evening. I'm Claudia Willis,
And I'm Lisa Cobb.
and we work for Gateway to Prevention and Recovery. And we are here really for 2 reasons. September is National Recovery Month, and we've asked our mayor and the city council to sign a proclamation that recognizing September as National Recovery Month. We also are here to invite you for a walk, recovery walk, this Saturday at 8 a.m. out at the Reynolds Wellness Center walking trail. And,
Let's tell them about our grant we received.
okay. I'm gonna talk to you a little bit. It's been a long day, so I'm gonna kind of pull my notes up. Started the day early in McLeod. But Gateway to Prevention and Recovery has been awarded a grant from the Department of Health and Human Services. It's a Health Resources and Services Administration is what that stands for. The project area for this grant is Seminole County, all of Seminole County, which we're really happy about. And the program is called Hope Connecting Seminole County. And it is a multi-year grant, and it will be addressing the barriers that in treatment and recovery with substance use disorder, including opiate use disorder.
Okay, just a little bit more. Again, the Hope Connecting Seminole County. You're asking how are we going to do all these things with this grant? We're going to work through a consortium. That's going to be our approach to meet the needs. We're going to be utilizing shared resources and collaboration to bring all the community resources together, resulting in reduced morbidity and mortality associated with substance use disorder and opioid use disorder. And as Claudia mentioned, she and I are working on this grant. We'll be the contact people for that. We have a Facebook page, Hope Connecting Seminole County. We hope you will follow that because we will be sharing information and events. And again, we do want to invite you to the Walk for Recovery this Saturday morning. We're walking at 8 a.m., registration's at 7:45. So try to come join us.
And City of Seminole has agreed to be one of our consortium partnerships in this grant that we have just received,
Right.
and we're very grateful.
Yeah, we nominate John Kramer to do the walk at 7:45.
You're welcome to,
We
John.
want lots
We'll
of
be
people.
there.
We'll be there early.
And the
Okay.
first 25 that register and walk get a hamburger and
Hey.
fries at Willis
Oh,
Woodstock.
might be worth it.
Our side-by-sides or golf carts welcome?
Oh, we're walking. It's just 1 mile.
1 mile.
Ones without gas.
Like I said, our golf carts,
Short walk.
I'm riding with you.
I got a 4-seater. They'll probably want to get on there too.
I'll have to read it.
We'll walk.
Okay, now, thank you very much. That's a worthy venture, and I'm glad that you got some funding. That's just great. That's just great. So now at this time, if we could do presentations and proclamations. The mayoral proclamation of September 2021 as National Recovery Month in the city of Seminole. And the proclamation reads, mental health and substance use disorders affect all communities nationwide. With commitment and support, those impacted can embark on a journey of improved health and overall wellness. The focus of National Recovery Month, this September is to celebrate all people that make the journey of recovery possible by embracing the 2021 theme. The theme is recovery is for everyone, every person, every family, every community. Recovery Month spreads the message that people can and do recover every day. Through Recovery Month, people become more aware and able to recognize the signs of mental health and substance use disorders, and encourages people in need of recovery services to seek help. Managing the effects of these conditions helps individuals achieve healthy lifestyles, both physically and emotionally. The Recovery Month observance continues to work to improve the lives of those affected by mental health and substance use disorders by raising awareness and educating communities about the effective services that are available. For the above reasons, I'm asking the citizens of Seminole, Oklahoma to join me in celebrating this September as National Recovery Month. And this is from our Mayor, Jeff Griffin. It says, I, Jeff Griffin, do hereby proclaim the month of September 2021 as National Recovery Month in the city of Seminole, and call upon our community to observe this month with compelling programs and events that support this year's observance, the 32nd anniversary of Recovery Month. And that's for Jeff Griffin, Mayor of the city of Seminole. And thank you very much. Now, elections and appointments. Consideration and possible action to approve the mayoral appointment of Bryant Baker, Public Works Director, to the Community and Economic Development Division, the COEDD Board.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it, the motion carries. So, where is Bryant?
Congrats.
Go get him.
Speech.
All right, now we can move on to approval. Is there any more petitions from the audience? Okay. We can move on to approvals and acceptances. Bids, item number 1, consideration and possible action to approve accepting the state bid price of $32,882 from John Vance Fleet Services for a 2022 Ford F-150 4x4 truck for the Parks Department. Originally, it was budgeted for $29,000 in the fiscal year 2021-22, the capital improvements projects. So it's costing us more?
Yes, sir. The price is going up.
Yes, okay. Yes, sir.
I had a question from a constituent in the ward that I serve, and they wondered about why we couldn't get one for that price. And the only answer that I can come up with is, I've looked for a new truck, and everything that's on the lot since COVID has gone up 20-30%, even more. I'm assuming that this is why the price has gone up. Is that correct? Because I think that's the answer that my constituent is looking for.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Is this deliverable too? I mean, they can get it to us? It's not just a,
I can't tell you that for sure. My guess is that the delivery will be delayed. I don't think that they're actually sitting on the lot. So what we're going to do is place the order, tell them that, hey, put us in line. Here's our invoice. Here's our purchase order, excuse me, and they'll put us in line. Obviously, we're not going to pay for it until we get the delivery, but
At the state bid price.
at the state bid price.
Yeah, so the price is locked in?
If they deliver the truck, the price is locked in, okay? So far, there's no assurance, they're not giving anyone any assurance that they're actually going to deliver the trucks. But if we don't get in line, we're not going to get them.
Steve, I have a question. If it's just, like cursory, and I don't understand the full bidding process when it says state bid price, why can't we use a local car dealership?
So, we do, sometimes we do, and we always encourage them to submit a bid. There is a bid exception. If you want to use a local dealer, you are allowed to give a 5% adjustment, so we can pay 5% above the state bid price. Not very often will they meet that price, and if they do, we always use them.
Okay. So we do communicate with the local dealers and.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, thank you.
move to approve.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please, Jay.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Dana Miller.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Up, we move to item number 2, consideration and possible action to approve accepting the state bid price of $30,009 from John Vance Fleet Services for a 2022 Ford F-150 4x4 truck for the wastewater treatment plant. It was originally budgeted at $28,000 in the fiscal year 2021-22 capital improvement projects.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please, Jay.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Dana Miller.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 3, consideration and possible action to approve the bid from Insight Billing Corporation for emergency medical services, billing services at the fire department, including a 7.5% billing fee, a technology package, credit card portal, training, and billing assist effective in October 2021. Now, having to spit that out, there's a gentleman that can explain things.
I'll go ahead and
for us.
explain it
Thank
to you.
sir.
So for the last, I'd say 11, 12 years, been using Intermedics as our company. over the last year, Intermedics switched to R1 and then switched to Digitech. Our contract is up with them in November, and since they switched from Digitech, we have dropped our percentage of our collection on our EMS billing almost 10%, if not a little bit more in certain months. We did reach out to 3 different billing companies. Actually 4, 3 sent back, and one of them was Digitech. Digitech submitted a 5%, as you, if you want to read, if you ever. But what they did was they set a minimum of $7,000 and then 5% more. So there's another company, Captive Billing, that put a bid of 6% out, but it did include all the technology that we need as far as like the system that's called the EPCR that we do our medical reports on. So to add that was another 2%, so that would have been 8%. Inside billing had a 7.5%, and that included everything from technology. And the only thing we're going to have to go out and get for it is just a couple of iPads or tablets to do our computer or reports on. So that's why we went with inside billing. Currently, right now, Digitech is charging us 10%. So no matter who we go with, we're actually decreasing our percentage we pay. So say we collect $100,000 in a month, you know, we're paying them $7,500 to do our billing services for us. That includes everything, you know, anything that includes EMS billing. That's what they're doing for us. So there's some of the bigger departments like IMSA, all them. They have their own in-house billing. We're just not big enough to do that. That's why we contract out our billing. So
I know your shirt says it all, but for the record, will you state your name and position with the city?
yes, my name's Fielding Lucas, fire chief here at Seminole.
Thank you.
Chief, could you give them an idea of how much we bill per year versus how much we collect, and why billing is such a crucial issue?
Yes, last year, we billed about $3.1 million, and we got back just over $700,000.
Golly.
And then the year before, we billed out, I'll say around 2.6 million, and got back 900,000. So you can see the drop off in the year that they changed. So we're having all sorts of issues with the current company. We can't get the end of the year reports. We can't get. There's no communication hardly with them anymore. They're more concerned, I say, right now with like the Memphis fires and the Houston fires, and we're just kind of smaller. So we kind of reached out to companies that deal with more departments our size.
Do they, I'm sure you've done your research on the deal. Do they have teeth to where maybe they can get more of those payments coming in? I mean,
Yes, one of the things they do is the rebilling. So say a claim is denied for some reason, say we have to get signatures from not only the patient, but an ER physician or a nurse, and say someone forgot to get a signature or something, they'll do an audit of the report, and if that, they'll notice that's why it got denied or kicked back, and they'll rebuild it. I mean, there's all sorts of reasons.
Right.
And that was one thing Digitech wasn't really doing for us, and so they think they can get us a lot more money doing that. And talking to other services around here, a lot of these EMS and React, they said that's where they get the majority of their money, so.
they're happy with them?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. Thank you.
So they'll be able to bill for services that the other companies haven't collected. How far back can they go?
They won't be able to go back and build what has already been done. It'll just start on day one and current.
Is there any recourse on that back payment?
No.
We just forget it and let it go?
No, every year I do have a company that comes in and does a secondary audit, and they go after Medicare and Medicaid money. So like if Medicare paid us $200 and they feel like it should have been $275, they will go in and get that extra $75 from each one of those patient accounts. And usually we get an extra $40,000 to $50,000 a year off of that.
And that's a service that the city pays for?
It's a service that another company outside of our actual billing company now, they come in and do it, and they take a percentage of what they get.
Yes. Thank you.
So they go back and back bill on Medicare, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Then they can go back 1 year, I mean, that's what we can do in the rest of the medical field.
Yeah, but they still don't get as much as if the original billing company goes back and hounds those insurance companies over and over and gets the original payment like they should. The current company we have bills once, gets whatever they can, and calls are good and sends us the check. This company won't be satisfied with $200. They'll go after the $350 to $400. They'll get the full amount, whatever they can.
Merrick, could you come to the podium and let them know who you are?
Yep. Merrick Ashby, EMS Supervisor, Seminole Fire Department.
That's who has been speaking for those in the audience that haven't been able to hear him maybe, telling us that about billing on the back services that we've provided, the back billing for it. Medicare, you can go back a certain amount of time, but most of those services or charges are lost to us, it seems.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please, Jay.
Tim Poplin.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Dana Miller.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Resolutions. Let me check and see if I have any amendments. Moving on to resolutions, item number 4, consideration and possible action to approve resolution number 2021-15, a resolution amending the fiscal year 2020-2021 budget and authorizing the transfer of excess funds between departments. Isn't that what we've already done?
It's the same, but this is for the general fund, whereas the other one was for the utilities authority.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Do we, since this involves money, a roll call, please, Jay?
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes?
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Dana Miller.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 5, consideration and possible action to approve resolution number 2021-16, a resolution concerning bridge inspection responsibility by local government and approving the Oklahoma Department of Transportation to select the bridge inspector. I assume we don't have a bridge inspector on staff, so.
Baker.
Baker. Well, he's
Oil field
busy.
trucks.
Any discussion on that?
I don't understand it, to be honest. Would you explain it?
The
We don't
bridge
have a-
inspection?
Yeah, what they're
Well-
asking for here.
So we obviously, we have bridges throughout Seminole and our territory. ODOT, of course, makes sure that they're up to par so that we don't have any catastrophic failures. We have had one inspected in the last 10 years that didn't pass, and we ended up rebuilding that bridge, as you may recall. What ODOT is coming in and saying, hey, there's likely going to be some infrastructure money. We think we can come in and help you do the inspections, and we like that idea, so we're in favor of it.
We're giving them the okay to come in and do their thing?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And it was gonna be the same inspector that the county used or something too, something that I read. Is that
Potentially.
Potentially.
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
It's 100% federally funded.
I'm sorry?
It's 100% federal funded,
Yes.
so move to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please, Jay.
Tim Poplin.
Yes, sir.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Dana Miller.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Moving on to current business. Item number 6, consideration and possible action to approve estimated construction costs of $221,153.62 from Silver Star Construction for the demolition and reconstruction of Lincoln Street, a fiscal year 2021-22 budgeted CIP item. Is that the whole street?
Yes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion been made and
I'm sorry.
seconded.
Is that where you live?
That's in my ward.
And
It
they've
is
been
well
waiting a
overdue.
long time.
It's-
Was that a bidded project?
No, sir, that's under our Silver Star
That's
contract.
a good
Gotcha.
move, sir.
That's right.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Tim Poplin,
I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. Go ahead. Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Dana Miller,
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 7, consideration and possible action to approve estimated construction costs of $61,800.48 from Silver Star Construction for replacement of a concrete section of McKinley Street, a fiscal year 2021-22 budgeted CIP item.
Anything, Steve?
It's needed.
Yeah.
We're actually, we're just thrilled that we found somebody that does concrete. I
Yes.
mean, it's been impossible to find someone.
He mows lawns too, doesn't he?
Not anymore.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Roll call, please, Jay.
Tim Poplin.
Yes, sir.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Dana Miller,
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 8, consideration and possible action to approve the demolition of the bathrooms at Johns Park, with the demolition to be performed in-house. The bathrooms have been out of service for approximately 6 years. And that in-house means the city employees.
With
will-
our own labor, yes.
Do we have porta potties there? No.
Not since they blew them up last time.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is this an item that we need a roll call for?
No, sir.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Tim Poplin,
Yes, sir.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Dana Miller,
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 9, consideration and possible action to approve allowing Dwayne and Brandon Streeter to clear brush and unwanted vegetation on city property located between Magnolia Park and the Blackburn Ridge property site at no cost to the city.
Right.
Seems like hard to beat a deal like that. How did you maneuver
It
that?
is. Let me take just a second to explain. So several years ago, and by the way, each of you got a text message with the picture attached. So several years ago, the city of Seminole deeded some property to the Economic Development Council in hopes that they would develop housing next to the wellness center. We took great care in the way that we deeded that property so that the property would remain out of the floodplain. Because obviously when a developer goes in, if they have to do any floodplain studies, that expense goes way up fast. So we took care, and the drawing that you see here, this will be the wellness center. So we took care of where we drew those lines. This line that you see in this photo is off just a little bit because clearly we don't own part of the apartment complex or any of the CUD energy yard. So it slides a little bit, would be to the west on this map, okay? Well, that still leaves a considerable amount of vegetation. I'm thinking more in terms of unpassable thorns and things that aren't desirable. What they have expressed an interest in doing is making it more park-like, the whole thing, make it conducive, a park-like setting. We, at one point, when Mike Grant was here, we had taken a lot of the vegetation out, at least in parts of it, so that we could market it to the housing developers and show them, hey, you've got great access here to this beautiful walking trail and the pond. And really what they're asking to do is to continue that, instead of just doing it in the small section that we had done by the old bowling alley, they want to continue that all the way up through to Strather Street near the Seminole Twin Cinema, the Strather Cinema, excuse me. And so I don't see any problem with it. We've had a few questions about how many trees would be involved. They are keenly aware that we want to save some of the mature, good, nice trees. But a lot of the undergrowth where the public can't even pass would be cleaned up.
So Stephen, the picture, where are they asking to clear out the entire, not the entire section, because that's where the townhouses are going, right?
Yes, everything inside of the yellow is going to, well, frankly, it's already cleared. What they're asking to do is encroach upon parts of the land to the west. So in other words, they want to come closer to the lake and clean out a lot of this undergrowth and a few of the trees, but a lot of the undergrowth, so that it's more of a park-like presentation when they're trying to rent those units. They want it to be very attractive, and we, of course, we're in favor of that.
My only concern is that it'll change the landscape of the entire area. So for, myself, going and walking in that area where there's lots of trees and vegetation, it's aesthetically pleasing. So if it's all going to be torn down and maybe concrete sidewalks put in there with a few bushes every now and then, that concerns me for the whole landscape of the area. Is that what the plan would be?
No. All of the concrete, of course, will be inside of the yellow line.
Okay.
So nothing is going to happen outside of the yellow line in terms of modernization where concrete or lamp poles or anything like that is concerned. This is just more of a cleanup process that allows them to access, really. They want their tenants to be able to walk down to the walking trails and enjoy the park, rather than having to gear up to go through the thorns.
Underbrush and briar, yeah.
So I mean, the whole section that's kind of, you said in the yellow, that's already cleared out for the townhouses, just to be
Yes,
clear.
yes, ma'am.
And so what they're asking for is that whole green section between the yellow part and the lake, that to all be cleared out? No?
The undergrowth, yes, and some of the trees, but the majority of that, I would say, majority of the trees are going to be left. What they're trying to do is get the thing cleared off so that, frankly, we don't have a skunk problem, et cetera. So they're trying to clean that up, especially on the, well, I think you're going to be pleased with the final outcome in terms of the trees that are left. I think that's not their mission, is to go make it scorched. There's not going to be any homes. There's nothing being constructed on that other than the cleanup. If you need, are you wanting to have a better definition of how many trees would be left?
It's just, I think my concern when I first had seen this was that it's all gonna go away, and there will be nothing between the homes and the actual park, which is, again, I think part of the draw to the park is that it is kind of people can go walk out in nature and see trees and birds and.
Have you seen the site to
Yes.
what they're talking about?
Yes.
I don't mean to interrupt here, but from what I've gathered, talking to different people, and I know there's some residents over there that are concerned about that, and I totally understand. There was an article in the paper. I think they're wanting to get it to where the fact it can be maintained. Right now, you can't even get in there with one of the best lawnmowers in the world and maintain it. They're just trying to clean it up to where they can maintain it, whatever. I don't understand why it's not costing us. I guess is the townhouse is paying for that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but is that correct? They're just wanting to get it to where it can be maintained?
That's right. Yeah.
You can't even walk through, you can't even drive a tractor through there without getting it all tangled up. But that's what I saw after talking to the people and looking at it. Now, I don't think they're gonna go in there and just, like you said, scrape the top off and leave it dirt, but
Right, but so you're saying you think, that's where I'm coming from, I'm thinking, we're thinking about two different things. I would like to have a better definition, or at least a better understanding of what are they going to clear out. Because I don't wanna come back later and see it all plowed down, and they're like, oh, well, Danny, you thought wrong, you
Right.
know, or you thought correct, or, I would like to have a better definition, or at least an idea. Are they talking about clear out a space this big for a sidewalk? Then that's great. Are they talking about plowing the whole area? I don't know either way. I haven't had those discussions. I don't know.
I'd like to point out that I agree with Dana in a larger sense about the underbrush being cleared out completely, because songbirds nest from about 8 feet to 4 feet off the ground. That's where your cardinals and, you know, other songbirds nest. Kingbirds, flycatchers of different sorts. Of course, we all know that the mockingbird nests atop the light pole outside your bedroom window. And, but anyway, I'd like for there to be some assurance that we don't destroy all the birds' habitats, songbirds especially, because I think the residents of the houses or apartments that they're building would enjoy that. If they've done this before, I'm sure that they probably know that too. I don't know how that will apply to this, but that's one concern I'd have about it, or that I do have about it, is nesting sites for some songbirds. My grandkids, when they go out to the park across the street from their house, it's a large park and it has a lot of trees and so forth, and that's what they enjoy most, is a spotted bird's nest. It's down low, but they can see it and stuff. So little trails through it or things like that. I don't know. I'll shut up.
Good input.
Any other discussion?
Does that create a potential fire hazard if they don't clear it out?
It's always fuel, yes, but I think I see where we're going, and I know we can get there. I think what I'm hearing is we want some green space islands throughout, and certainly a lot of the mature trees need to be left. It's not clear enough for me to send Bryant Baker out there in his shorts to wrap ribbons around the mature trees yet, but we might. I understand what you're saying loud and clear, and I can convey that to the developer, so.
Any more discussion?
So can we table this until they can tell us and have those assurances?
Do we need a motion to table it?
Yes, if you could give me some, I mean, how do I quantify?
This is not gonna change their mind to doing it for free, is it?
I don't know
Or
the
no
answer.
cost to us?
I don't know the
I
answer
mean,
to
we wasn't
that.
planning on taking out a lot of trees anyways, right? Just the underbrush.
Yeah, he's just trying to clean up pieces of it so that it would be more appealing to the people that are potentially going to rent there.
It also says unwanted vegetation. What is that, what does that mean?
Briars,
Poison ivy.
mainly,
poison ivy, poison oak.
Sumac.
I would ask that we table it until they have more of a definition of what they're gonna do.
What's their time frame for doing this? You know?
Yesterday, I mean,
Yeah, right.
he's already done the site prep or the excavation for the apartment unit, so they're wanting, while they've got some equipment still left there, I'm sure that's weighing heavily on why they can do it for no dollars. Before they move that to another job, they're saying, hey, let us make this a park. And so I'm sure that was their intent.
I just feel also too that, you know, you talked about the journey, I mean, yes, that's nice that they're offering to do it. But the city has also made a lot of concessions as well in donating the land and different things like that. I think asking them to, you know, tell us, are they going to plow the whole area, or are they going to, what are they gonna do? I don't think it's asking too much.
Okay?
Can they direct you to supervise that?
So, any other discussion? Was that a motion, Dana?
The table, yes.
So motion has been made to table item number 9 for how long? The next meeting or what?
I don't think, hold those guys up for 30 days. I mean,
Yeah, that's gonna be.
then the city's gonna go and have to do it, because they're gonna load their equipment up and they're gonna be gone, and then we're gonna spend thousands of dollars cleaning up poison ivy and briars and all that stuff. I mean.
Are we obligated to do that?
Huh?
Are we obligated to do that? Is the city do we have to go in and clear that out?
It would be an improvement, I would think, if we did clean it up.
There's a lot of other city
If-
improvements that are in line.
If those houses are out there and they have tall weeds and brush, then they're gonna be looking at, by the code enforcement officer. Or they've gotta go do it themselves.
All right, they'd have to get in line. There's a lot of other areas in the town that need.
I just think they're trying to make way for construction. And
Is
if
it-
people wanna go out there and plant new trees or shrubs or ivy or whatever, then, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, I understand, I feel for the people that don't wanna move that out there, and I totally understand, but this is city property, it's not private property. And we're the ones that are spending the money to do it. And right now, it's not costing us anything.
They're trying to create a park.
I move to approve it.
And I'll second, and we'll take a vote.
There's a
my
motion
table
on
was
the floor.
first.
Oh,
There's a
I'm
motion
sorry,
on
you're
the
Oh,
right.
that's right. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
you made a
Dave.
motion.
All right,
I'm sorry.
the motion on the floor to table item number 9. Do I hear a second? With no second, the motion dies. I will entertain another motion.
I move to approve.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Since this does imply financial responsibility, roll call vote, please, Jay.
Tim Poplin,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Dana Miller,
No.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Can I add something right there? I don't think it would be wrong, you know, if Dana would like to go out there when they start doing this and talk to them and have her input on the deal. I think that'd be wonderful if that's legal or whatever we can do. Dana, would you be willing to do that?
Sure.
I mean, I think that'd be great. I mean, that's, might be the solution, because I don't want no hard feelings over this.
No, our buildings, it's.
Yeah, but, I mean, if y'all could get together, with the powers to be and see when they're gonna do that and go talk to the guys that are driving the equipment. If you wanna take some ribbon some stuff off that you like, then we'll go with it. I mean, that's just a suggestion, and I'm sorry I butted in, but that was the thought, if you're willing to do that.
Well, knowing Dana as well as I do, I don't think you have to worry about hard feelings. The only hard feelings tonight is that you guys wanted me to do this.
We're gonna buy you a cherry pie tomorrow, so go ahead.
Item number 10, consideration and possible action to approve granting a proxy to the law firm McAfee and Taft regarding the opioid lawsuit against Malincrot.
It's good enough.
Close enough, okay.
So, as the council may remember, the city of Seminole participated as a co-plaintiff in the opioid class action lawsuit against, and I can't pronounce it either, Malincrot is what I've understood it to be, but long story short, this company has already filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy proceedings, reorganization. Within the bankruptcy plan itself is a provision where a settlement fund is going to be set aside for claimants to make, well, for municipalities and they've kind of got classes of municipalities, 400,000 and over, and just all kinds of different procedures for different types of cities. But the law firm, the lead firm, McAfee and Taft, huge firm in Oklahoma City, been in contact with Steve and us pretty regularly. As this has been progressing, there's a lot of deadlines, there's a lot of decisions to be made. We're not gonna have time, or probably none of the municipalities are gonna have time to hold a meeting and vote on it and then get the decisions to the attorneys. They've asked for a proxy so that they can make decisions on in what they would deem to be the best interests of us, the client, as well as the other municipalities, on making claims, amounts, procedures, just things like that, in order for us to get this money and get it set aside so we're gonna have access to it. It's a little bit unusual for us to do that, but, it's money we don't have. It's money that we need to assure that we set aside and get that done as quickly as possible. I've suggested to Steve that we go ahead and give our proxy, and then anything that we need to do as far as bringing it to the council, if there's any decisions that have been made that need our vote, we'll bring it to you, present it to you, and let you take a formal vote. It may be too late, it may not be, I don't know, but it's gonna happen whether we do it or not, most likely. So I'd ask, to go ahead and pass an item, and let's see if we can get this money, $1.6 billion being set aside.
Would you please explain to us what a proxy is?
Proxy vote would be basically the city council delegating our attorneys the ability to basically make a decision to bind us on certain things, whatever the issue is. And in this case, it's going to be the settlement of this class action. Well, however, whatever, there's going to be many decisions, I think, to be honest with you, and it's probably going to be just numerous things. I imagine that all the other cities are going to follow suit and do the same thing. We're not liable for anything. This company's already in bankruptcy, so.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please, Jay.
Tim Poplin.
Yes, sir.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Dana Miller.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 11, consideration and possible action to approve closing Main Street from Broadway to Seminole from 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. on Friday, October the 29th, for a downtown Halloween it says trunk or treat, that must be trick or treat. Trick or treat and festival hosted by the Seminole Arts Council, I assume, it says Arts Chamber.
Larry, when's the last time you took kids trick or treating?
He even has grandbabies, he should know.
Okay.
Trunk or treats when they keep the treats in the trunk.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay, well, I don't know that. Sorry.
He's watching his.
Trick is when they throw an egg on your house. That's a trick.
I know about the
Because they didn't like those kisses you give out. They wanted a candy bar.
Okay,
Little children.
That's the way it happened in my days.
I stand corrected. For a downtown Halloween trunk or treat and festival hosted by the Seminole Arts Chamber, Downtown District, and Chamber of Commerce.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Item number 12, consideration and possible action to approve closing Main Street from Broadway to Seminole at 11 a.m. on Saturday, November the 6th, for Veterans Day Parade hosted by the American Legion, Downtown District, and Chamber of Commerce.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Item number 13, consideration and possible action to approve closing Main Street from Broadway to Seminole, 6 p.m. on Saturday, December 11th, for a Christmas parade hosted by the Seminole Arts Chamber, Downtown District, and Chamber of Commerce. Now, I know what that is. Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Move over to the addendum. Item number 14 under current business. Consideration and possible action to approve closing Main Street from Strather to Osage on Friday, September the 24th at 4 p.m. for the annual Seminole High School Homecoming Parade. I know what that is too.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. And now, it's time for comments. Do we want to start with a report from you guys, or do we want to start with going around the board? How do y'all want to do that?
You're up first.
I'm up first? I think actually Chris Anson, Ward 4, is up first.
You're not here.
No, you are, Larry.
You're listed first, Larry.
Oh, I have to go down the, I'm sorry. Okay, COVID-19, no big surprises there. If, as long as there's a large enough pool of people who aren't vaccinated against the disease, in my opinion, it's only gonna get stronger and worse. And hopefully folks don't, I understand that there's been a large increase in people vaccinating or getting the vaccine. And I think it's primarily because when it starts hitting your family, when it starts killing our children, then we'll become more concerned. The reason why I'm at odds with a lot of people about this, I blame on a darned old cow. If it hadn't been for the cow teaching us that smallpox, a viral disease, can be cured with vaccine, I wouldn't have the opinions that I have about vaccines. But that's where it started. And we'll have more and more viral diseases coming along. So we need to get used to the idea that we don't have to have a serum anymore from which to make vaccine, because our body identifies the shape and size of the intruder, our immune system does, and now we can manufacture the shape and the size of any, almost any tiny germ or virus, and inject it into a person, and the person's immune system will respond to it just as though it were the original dead virus. Last meeting, I made some comments. We were talking about the, our Facebook page and the problems that were generated from that, and I was pointing out that I was opposed to that to begin with. I mean, on a personal basis, I don't do it because, and I mentioned that, and I thought I was clear about this, I mentioned that there are personalities out there, and I named one as a borderline personality that seemed to want to dominate what's going on wherever they're at. I didn't have anyone in particular in mind. That was just the kind of people that I know about and I initially avoided and was against the city having that, having a Facebook page, because once it becomes an action of the city or any other entity like that, then you can't, whatever it is, when you tell somebody I'm not listening to you anymore and cut them off, things like that, you can't do that selectively. And it bogs us down. I want to point out also that our Arts Council has been very active and is doing a lot of good things for the city of Seminole, and I appreciate that very much, and that's largely due to a lady named Stephanie Davis. Since she has moved to Seminole, she's done a lot of good work for our city and worked tirelessly to help us improve. So kudos to Stephanie, kudos to the Arts Council. Let's move on to Dana Miller.
Thank you, Larry. So Jackie had mentioned earlier the community food pantry. I'm not sure if you all have been able to see it. It's a pretty genius idea. It's a really small. It almost looks like something you would put like your tools in or something. It's really small, but the whole point is that someone can go in, put food in there, or come and take food. No strings attached. It's just, if you need the food, come and get it. And your neighbors will, your community will, ensure that it's full of food. And, I think it's just exciting that our community looks after each other in that way. We did last time have a pretty big discussion, and there was, it sounded like there was some division in our community, and it was a little depressing after a while, having that discussion. We had it for about a good hour or so, but then you turn around and you see something like this in our community where it's voluntary, where folks are looking after each other regardless of their opinion, regardless of their political affiliation, regardless of any alliances or anything. Our folks are looking after each other. And I just want to commend the folks who are leading this, and that is the Seminole Arts Council, Seminole's Best Buds. They were all right here. Some of them were here earlier. And then the Lord's Community Church. I had seen, speaking of Facebook, a post where a lady had come on there and said thank you to whomever who had put food in there. She said she was running low on food in her home and she needed to feed her kids, and that when she got paid, she was going to put some food back in there. And I just think that's amazing. To me, that's what community should be. And I'm just really excited. Kind of restored my faith in not only our specific community, but kind of people in general. So I wanted to make sure that they got the recognition for that. So Seminole Arts Council, Seminole's Best Buds, and Lord's Community Church. This past month, attended the groundbreaking for the new housing in Ward 1. I'm so excited about that. There are going to be 78 townhouses coming to our ward, and it's really exciting. I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for inviting me to go to the groundbreaking. It was really nice again to see community come together over something that is much needed in our community, which is housing, affordable housing, and beautiful housing. So that's great. I'm really excited that it's in Ward 1. Excited it's in Seminole, but even more excited it's in Ward 1. And I want to take some time in my reports from now on to highlight a lot of the great things positive things that are going on in our community. I see Lisa Cobb here, and she's behind the mobile market. Just different things like that, the second Saturdays that Jackie had talked about, things that people are donating a lot of their time and resources just to ensure that our community is not only well taken care of, but that we're a draw for other folks to come in and participate in and be part of our community as well. So I just wanted to highlight those great things, and I'll definitely be looking out for those in the future. Want to thank again Steve and OG&E for the Chase Park lighting. It's just amazing, and not only was the lighting installed, but city workers have come out. I can actually see from my window and them driving around those really cool things and clearing out the brush. And so it looks really nice. It's really clean and safe, I think, now. And so that's exciting. I've also seen some improvements at Johns Park as well. And then I'd just like to follow up on a previous request that I'd made for a request to have an update in a presentation from the SEDC. If we can get that on the books sometime soon, I'd appreciate that. All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
John Kramer?
I just want to thank Claudia and Lisa for what you're doing. I know it takes a lot of time. If I do show up and walk a mile, can I have 2 hamburgers?
I'll buy the second.
No, thank y'all. Appreciate it.
We'll pitch in some money and get you the second one.
That's it.
Tim Poplin?
It's all pretty much been said. I appreciate it. I appreciate the people coming and the journey that you guys are on. Appreciate that too. That's about all I really have. Everything seems to be going good. I have one question, and I'll be quiet. The new motel, is that still going on? Is it still in the works out east of Bronx?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm done. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Connor?
It's pretty much all been said, but again, thanks for everybody being here, and that's about all I got. I really don't have anything.
Who wants to give their report first?
Okay, I'll go. Real quick, I just want to give a shout out to my staff, in particular this month, Bryant Baker and Sharon Emmett. Sharon does all of the mind-numbing grant writing that basically nobody else wants to do. It's worse than being an accountant. Sorry, Jay, but it just, good grief, your eyes cross, and after a while, you've answered the question so many different ways, and she does a great job at that. Bryant Baker, man alive, we've got so many projects going. His board, it's just incredible. And to see the parks look the way that they do tonight, I'm super proud of him and especially his staff. If you haven't had a chance to drive by the softball quad tonight, they've prepped it, and I mean, it is spick and span ready for the Oklahoma Rural Elementary School Tournament that begins Thursday.
34 teams, right?
Yeah, 34 teams will be in Seminole Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we look forward to hosting them, and it would not have come together like that without Bryant and his leadership and his staff. They did a fantastic job. It looks great. The sound systems, all the scoreboards are working, and thank goodness we've got John and Jennifer Kramer making this thing coming together for us. So I had the privilege before I came to this meeting of meeting with a group of young people. These are high school juniors and seniors that are now part of our Seminole Youth City Council. And even though it's a Seminole thing, we do have students from other high schools other than Seminole Public Schools participating. So I'm really excited about that. You guys saw what they were capable of last year. We have not forgotten that. It's actually in the front of our minds, and we are making significant strides in bringing that to fruition. But one of the things that I visited with them tonight about was leadership and the importance of leadership, and what a void that we sometimes can have when people don't step up and lead. And I think it's extremely unfortunate that we don't have Tiny Chief football anymore, but I do know what it takes to take that kind of responsibility and lead. So I think these kids, young people, I shouldn't call them kids, these young people, their eyes are wide open. They've got some fresh, wonderful new ideas that none of us have thought of, and I'm really excited to see them grow into leadership roles. Congratulations, Claudia and Lisa. Great work once again. We depend upon you to watch out for all of us in one form or another, where it's food or recovery. We appreciate your efforts. School's in session. Please watch your speed. Fair warning, my favorite traffic officer is in the room, and he has been empowered to go make sure that our kids are safe. So Officer Burnett, please make sure our kids are safe, okay? All right. I think most everything was covered on Blackburn Ridge. We're excited to have some new development. I can tell you that we've got multiple, I'm talking more than 5 projects working right now with different types of commercial and real estate, big real estate developments. And the activity is amazing, and we're excited. And I just pay homage to my staff for allowing me, because they're responsible in each of their areas, to be able to work those projects and hopefully get a few of them landed. I don't want to end on a sour note, but it really speaks directly to leadership and what can happen when bad decisions are made. You probably are aware that we lost the election for the fire tax. In that, we are going to be losing about $86,000 a year from the sales tax that we weren't getting before. Now will be redistributed to others. We were notified officially today that PREG no longer will be covered by REACT, which means that if you travel to the Catfish Roundup and anywhere on I-40 in Seminole County, you will not have ambulance coverage. So the responsibility is really going to be a mutual aid thing. So what that means is we have to wait until somebody asked us to come in and respond to that accident. That's a little, well, it's really irresponsible. I don't want my family at risk. From time to time, they travel I-40 and we'll get off on that exit. And I know that we've got business that is conducted up there. The significant numbers of people are traveling through there, roughly 22,000 people a day. And we're going to leave them unprotected. And there's just no good excuse for that. I can tell you with confidence that the same thing is near happening in Kanawha. that they will likely be without real, what I would consider real ambulance coverage in that area. So ultimately, it comes back to the city of Seminole and to some degree, Wewoka. And I can tell you that my staff and I, and particularly Merrick and Fielding, our chief and EMS director, we struggle. I mean, we're being slapped. It feels like we're getting slapped in the face and punched in the mouth, and yet the moral obligation, do we still send ambulances to take care of those people? Yeah, we probably do, right? So is it fair for us to put that expense on the backs of the people that are paying for it and send a 250,000-mile ambulance to Kanawha so that we can transport that patient to, give me a town, Fort Smith? Well, good grief. I mean, that's a super hard decision to make. But when you have people that are making decisions that don't benefit the citizens of this county, and they don't benefit the people that they're supposed to be representing, and they would rather sow ill will than to solve problems, that's what we get. So I'd love to have anybody's input on that. It's really difficult for me to be responsible to the taxpayers of this city and yet morally make decisions that impact real lives, and in this case, probably will cost lives over the long term. So offline, I'd really enjoy hearing what you have to say. That's all I have.
Steve, I have a question. So on the vote, do you just know off the top of your head, was it just a lack of voting from the city of Seminole, from folks here, or was there any like kind of exit interviews? Or do we know like what happened?
No, but to a degree, I think it was everyone versus Seminole, when they did not understand that we're the ones that are coming to Kanawha 3 times a week to help you. You know, you're painting us as the bad guy, the big dog, or the man that you want to beat, but it's just not the case. We're helping you, and it was just kind of maybe it was a Friday night football mentality. We just want to see you taken down a notch, but in the end, it is going to cost lives.
And then one other thing, Steve, just to kind of back up a little bit, how did it come to the ballot? Is that was from our county commissioners?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct? Not the city. It was county commissioners who put that on the ballot.
Yes, ma'am.
Just to be clear, thank you.
Mr. City Attorney?
Nothing. I'll keep Burnett here 5 minutes, give everybody a head start.
That's
Thank you.
With that, I'll